we return to the hearing in circumstances where Mr. Zuma has left, I've been told. Mr. Zuma had been issued with a summons to be here. He has left today without asking me to be excused.
Mantswe ana a bohale a tletseng kgalefo ke aneng a tswa molomong wa modulasetulo wa komishene e fuputsang tshusumetso e bolotsana diqetong tsa mmuso Raymond Zondo mo ha morao mopresidente wa mehleng Jacob Zuma a ileng a tswa komisheneng ho latela ho hana ho ikgula ho mamele bopaki ba hae ha Raymond Zondo. Zuma o ile a tswela pele ho tiisa hlooho e seng fela ho komishene empa le ho lekgotla la dinyewe la Molao wa Motheo ka ho toba hore a hlahele ka pele ho komishene.
Never before has the authority and legitimacy of the Constitutional Court been subjected to the kinds of attacks that Mr. Zuma has elected to launch against it and its members. Never before has the judicial process been so threatened. Although Mr. Zuma is no longer president, his conduct flies in the face of the obligation he bore as president. And it is also not insignificant that Mr. Zuma's contemptuous conduct relate to his duty to account for the time that he was in office. So is accordingly inextricably linked to his constitutional obligations as a public office bearer. The Constitutional Court holds that it is disturbing that he, who twice swore allegiance to the Republic, its laws and the Constitution, has sought to ignore, undermine, and in many ways destroy the rule of law altogether.
Lekgotla la dinyewe la Molao wa Motheo le re Zuma o ne a tlamehile ho sireletsa Molao wa Motheo fela a hloleha ho etsa jwalo. Moahlodi Sisi Khampepe o tswetse pele ho hlalosa hore ba bangata ba bona Zuma e le motho ya iketsang eka ke lehlatsipa.
No person is above the law, and every person, whatever be her or his rank or condition, is subject to the ordinary realm of the law and amenable to the jurisdiction of its tribunals. An act of defiance in respect of a direct judicial order has the potential to precipitate a constitutional crisis. If with impunity, litigants are allowed to decide which orders they wish to obey and which they wish to ignore, then our Constitution is not worth the paper upon which it is written.
Boholo ba kahlolo bo supile ha o se seo lekgotla le ka se etsang ntle fela le ho romela Zuma tjhankaneng.
I am left with no option but to commit Mr. Zuma to imprisonment with the hope that doing so sends an unequivocal message. In this, our constitutional dispensation, the rule of law and the administration of justice prevails.
Zuma o tla lokela ho ikisa stationeng sa sepolesa nakong ya matsatsi a mahlano ho seng jwalo letona la sepolesa le tla lokela ho mo tshwara.
It is declared that Mr. Jacob Zuma is guilty of the crime of contempt of court for failure to comply with the order made by this court in Secretary of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations of state capture, corruption and fraud in the public sector, including organs of state, versus Jacob Zuma. Mr. Jacob Zuma is sentenced to undergo 15 months imprisonment. 5, Mr. Jacob Zuma is ordered to submit himself to the South African Police at Nkandla Police Station or Johannesburg Central Police Station within 5 calendar days from the date of this order for the station commander or other officer in charge of that police station to ensure that he is immediately delivered to a correctional center to commence serving the sentence imposed in paragraph 4.
Ke lekgotla la pele nakong ya demokrasi ya Afrika Borwa mo lekgotla la dinyewe la Molao wa Motheo le tshwarang mopresidente wa mehleng.
Mekga dipolotiki e ntshitse maikutlo ka sephetho sena sa lekgotla la dinyewe la Molao wa Motheo kgahlano le mopresidente wa mehleng Jacob Zuma.
We have always said that institutions that are established to deepen constitutional democracy must be supported. We have said that the constitution of the republic is sacrosanct. It is important to drive forward the unity of our people.
Many South Africans can take solace in the fact that despite the fact that we've got corrupt, kleptocratic leadership in the country, despite the fact that we've had all this corruption, that nobody is above the law. And it doesn't matter whether you're a former president who's still deeply connected with the governing party, that if you break the law, you will be held accountable.
As the EFF have always maintained that the rule of law must always be upheld. All citizens of this country are equal before the rule of law. No one is above the law. And Jacob Zuma, like any other citizen of this country, must be subjected to the rule of law.
We believe that it is a victory for democracy, justice and the Constitution, and a further categoric statement that nobody is above the law. It did not have to come to this, and we continue to implore on all South Africans to subject themselves to court processes as and when the need arises to do so.
The judgment itself is a landmark ruling, and it's important for the rule of law of this country. And it's clear that it's sending a strong message that no one is above the law, and it's a stern warning that all South Africans should respect the courts of this country.
We welcome this Constitutional Court's judgment by sending a former president, Zuma, to prison for 15 years. Jacob Zuma has thought that he is above the law and untouchable, but it shows very clearly that the Constitutional Court and the rule of law is key in this country.
Maikutlo a Edward Zuma e le mora mo presidente wa mehleng Jacob Zuma ke hore ntatae a keke ya tjhankaneng ha fela yena a ntse a phela mme le mmedi wa MKMVA Colony House o bona Zuma a sa sebeletswa ka toka.
As Edward Zuma, I think my position has been known, and I still maintain my position that, you know, whatever decisions are taken by law enforcement agencies of this country, well, they'll have to kill me first before such thing is implemented. I'll lay down my life for President Zuma. They are not going to take him to prison when I'm still alive. They'll have to kill me first. I insist on that.
We will act on this in terms of the correct legal processes and in terms of our Constitution. We are increasingly beginning to feel that the imposition of this level 4 COVID-19 regulations just 2 days ago had a direct intention to try and curb the outrage and the protest that was going to happen because of this judgment. And under the circumstances, we are really very concerned because our members and many other members of the population in South Africa are evidently going to come out in protest about this. People are outraged, and they are legitimately outraged.